All right.
Hey, John.
Here we are.
I got ready for our video today.
Cheers.
Oh, we have.
Well, I'm just yeah.
Oh, I didn't drink. That's
I'm just
like
doing water today. So I'm on a 3-day water fast right now, and you got tea, I see.
Yeah.
We don't have any native root coffee in front of us. Usually we do.
Yeah, this is kind of odd.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, so you're not actually getting real behind the scenes.
Yeah. This podcast is not sponsored by Theragun, but this is the Theragun Mini, which relieved my psoas tightness the other day.
How'd you get to your psoas?
Well, I ran it up and down on my hip in the front, on my hip near the groin muscle area a little bit. And then I ran it back around on my hip plate on the top where the muscles grab up there. And then I went above whatever. Well, you don't like my terms. If you feel back there, there's a plate.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a machinist and a tool maker, Tara.
Yeah.
I'm
is
a
it
mechanic.
metal too? Are you made of metal?
I might be. So anyway, this is not sponsored by Theragun, but I want to thank Theragun for this great product. And we also have, if that's the Mini, this might be the Maxi.
Well, I want to thank Theragun too, because it helps me massage you
easier.
Because I mean, you're
it's hard to get into that seriously dense, massive muscle.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, and you're so naughty.
I understand. I am a little naughty.
Work out.
Naughty.
Yeah.
All right.
Good start.
Is it?
Way to go.
Was it?
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank Theragun. And if you do want to sponsor the podcast, Jon and Tara podcast on YouTube, or find me, Jon Backlund, JONBAKLUND, on any social media platform.
Yep. Complaints go to Jon, and praise you can send my way, please.
Send the checks to me.
And yep, Jon will handle the business. You can send the checks to him. He's a good sharer. Thankfully.
Good sharer.
We had an awesome date on, was it Wednesday?
Oofta.
It was kind of an impromptu date, but it was like amazing.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Thanks, Jon.
You're welcome, Tara.
You want to tell?
We went out and we drove a Toyota TRD Pro
Tacoma
2021.
Well, maybe to back up, because for a long time you've talked about like your dream is for us to get an adventure truck or make an adventure truck and travel to the southern tip of South America. And that's like, I mean, I've lived in South America, so I'm like, there's wonderful places.
Alpha guy, high value man,
yeah,
all those terms.
Yep.
Want to go on an adventure.
Adventuring.
I just talk about it though, so.
And
maybe not so adventurous.
It sounds like fun to me, but it also sounds super scary. And I mean, we have literally been on the world's most dangerous roads in Colombia. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, yeah, I think I just got over the PTSD from that a couple years ago.
The PTSD. You had extra.
I can't even say it.
You had extra.
So, but I'm trying to like, I love you, and I don't want to be like, this is like a someday dream and may or may not happen, but I don't want to be
shut me down, woman.
Well, I hear, so I was in the sauna. Okay, this is long way around, right? Yeah. So you're going to get a way, way, way backstory. So I was in the sauna the other day at the gym, and I hear these two older guys, talking about, they kind of met, just kind of chatting. Yeah, I'm taking the grandkids out fishing today and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I go to this church, I go to that church, I do this, are you retired? Yep, I'm retired. What do you do? Well, I go on mission trips. Does your wife go with? No, it's not her thing to travel. And the other guy's like, mine too. And I was like, you didn't, like, they didn't say it like, but you could just, I kind of felt like sad.
Yeah,
like,
it's a drawback. Yeah.
Yeah, not even on a mission trip, not even for God. And so it's for the
pygmies, Tara.
So I propose, for example, okay, how about this? We pick several stops that we would stop at in South America, Central South America, because we're talking about traveling from Minnesota
all the way to Argentina,
all the way down the southern tip of Argentina.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how about we do this? We just choose several stops, and we fly there and go, okay, this is a good spot. I'm trying, it's like therapy, right? Because like if someone's
Yeah.
afraid of an elevator, going up and down an elevator, you first take them to the elevator,
To the
right?
spot.
Yeah. Or,
But
and
we
then
have this incredible thing called the internet, and we could probably see every single village all the way down, and maybe even the live people that are there.
that means we could take the whole trip virtually.
Nope.
See, it's not the same thing.
But you're talking about scouting a location.
Yes.
You can scout a location without going there.
Yes.
The military does it all the time.
Yeah.
Satellite images and drone footage and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can do half the.
We can look at satellite image.
Yeah.
Unless you're a flat earther and there are no satellites, but they're just
I'm undecided.
high flyover planes
it's just
that
above,
take all those pictures.
and there are other things to be concerned about.
High altitude reconnaissance. Yes.
So that's the background of why even a TRD Pro Tacoma, because it's a small enough truck, right? And it has a lot of, and it has common parts.
On
right?
a trip to South America, you want narrow road. You're going to be on narrow roads, so you want a vehicle that has a narrower wheelbase. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would get an older one, actually.
Okay.
Get an older one, probably with a diesel motor. And the older ones, I forget which year, but they have just bulletproof, like 5 or 6 years, they have bulletproof transmissions. There's a truck called a Hilux, a Toyota Hilux, and that is like a extreme duty truck, like militaries in other countries use them. So they're not sold in America, but you get a hold of one, and then it could be worked on in any village then.
Yeah, so that's kind of the idea.
And diesel is more prevalent than regular petrol.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
So that's kind of the background.
So we drove the truck. I didn't like it. We have a Toyota Sequoia.
Tiny.
We have it's tiny, not good. We have a Toyota Sequoia. I mean, I'm sure the truck would be fine, but it's not the style of ride that I want on the tar roads.
Right.
And not the engine I want.
We kind of got out of our system though, or
it was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
Kind of a
good you called it up. You're like, take me out to drive this little mini truck that you won't like very much. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It was funny because you test drove it, and I guess I know and obviously trust your judgment on those things.
It would have been worse if you had.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you would have critiqued the crap out of it.
Oh.
Where you're used to a BMW and a Toyota Sequoia, it's not the same.
Not the same.
Built for a different purpose, but no hammering on Toyota. Great truck for its purpose, but it's not a good tar road truck. The suspension was nice, but it needed, when you're off-road, that's great.
It was really good for such a sporty suspension. It is stiffer. You could feel it at certain times, but I've felt much stiffer sporty suspension.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But shout out to, I love my Sequoia TRD Sport. It's like the perfect balance of like family. I call it the grandparents and parents hauler. Yeah. and the
old folks mobile.
Also being sporty. So shout out to Toyota. Great job. And
Toyota is not a sponsor of this.
Not a sponsor,
podcast,
but we could entertain that.
They want to be.
Talk to Jon.
I would love a TRD Tacoma.
Yeah. There are certain times.
And I would adventure truck it out, and I would take it out in the wilderness. I'd take it through you'd go with. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Remember me?
Yeah. I'd take it through the riverbeds. I'd take it across the plains. I'd take it all the way to Argentina.
Yeah.
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 If Toyota sponsored that trip, that'd be awesome. Toyota.
We could make it happen.
We'd sell a lot of vehicles for them too.
Yep. I would have a counselor on call for all the PTSD treatment. PTSD. Elemental P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was fun. But so the joke was, the sales guy could see, he's like, I thought you guys were going to pull up and test drive one of the newer Sequoias. And like, and because after the test drive, we're like, yeah, we'll talk about it over dinner. And
our Sequoia is only 2 years old. It's not.
It's 3 years old. Yeah.
Well,
but it's great.
We've only had it for 2 years. We've had it for 3.
End of 2020.
Oh,
yeah. I know, time flies. Especially those years where like.
Well, that's about 3 years. We're not through 2024. End of 2020.
2021, 2022, 2023. It's been a solid 3 years.
Wow.
It's okay.
Glad you're here to do the maths.
I know. Well, I'm happy because I paid off a good amount of it. So
Woo.
there's that too. Anyway, so we had an amazing dinner. We did go to dinner and just like, yep, that's not the thing. That's, there are certain things, a lot of things
fun.
we do come to quick decisions about. We're pretty.
What do you have? 2 glasses of wine, 3 glasses of sake?
Yeah, I had all the sake and all the wine, and you just watched me and enjoyed.
No, I enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
No, I drank a lot of sake. It was good. Lady Luck sake. Lady Luck is not a sponsor of this podcast, but they could be. Come on. That's a Daijinjo. Jumai Daijinjo.
But it was really good because I think I was feeling like I'm not a procrastinator, but I was kind of feeling like in work and just life and stuff, like I just couldn't push myself. And I think the truck idea was like a distraction. And, I just said, I'm not set on this, just entertain me. Right. And it was like fun, something else to do. Right. And then a good excuse to get out. I mean, we hadn't been out to dinner in a while, had we?
Couple weeks.
Yeah. And so I think it was just what I needed to spice things
there
up
you go,
again
guys.
a little bit.
Tip number 1, get your wife out of the house. Well, you work from the house too, so that's
right.
a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Well, we had a lot of fun. It's probably not time to share it yet because it's still in the idea tank. We had a lot of fun on the way home. We do these little skits, and we won't tell them what it's about yet.
Yeah, we did.
Because this is like in the works still, but we go through these silly
I think
modes.
it's more me than you.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I brought you in on this one.
Thank you.
But most of the skits are done kind of by me, right? Like the Sven and Oli skit and and singing 80s rock and roll. It's usually me belting it out, screaming at the top of my lungs with my fake falsetto.
Well, this one I participated quite a bit. Remember?
My false falsetto.
I participated in this one quite a bit. But anyways, we're not talking about it yet.
Because you were the wife of my character.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Should we do a clip?
Yeah, let's find a
good
clip.
Is this an official reaction clip?
Well, you're not sharing your screen,
Oh, all right. I gotta share the screen.
Yep. Now that we're doing video,
this silly stuff.
Is your do not disturb on?
Hold shift to select multiple windows. My do not disturb is not on right now.
It is on.
It is on. I did good.
Good job. Okay,
right.
hit share. I'm trying not to be bossy, but like.
Who's this bossy woman
this is
in my
stuff that I do all the time?
Okay, you want to listen to this one?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Look at their wife in this example and say, "You've gained too much weight. You disgust me. I'm grossed out by you." Like that level of vitriol is rare. I don't say it's rare, but it's not common.
Sure.
What's way, way more common is your wife knows you don't think she's pretty anymore.
I gotcha.
You don't cut glances at her anymore. You don't give her hugs anymore. You keep the lights off. And so it creates an air that y'all are sharing. You're both breathing this, where she might not be able to put her finger on it, but she knows you're out. Very few.
Okay, so that's titled, "I'm Not Attracted to My Wife." This is the Dr. John Deloney show, which we've enjoyed listening to.
Yeah.
And who should comment first? What would you do? Like, what would be the thing that you would notice first? Because I know you think I'm 100% attractive.
Well,
what do you think you would notice would be the first thing that you'd be like, I'm not as attracted?
So a lot of guys are super lazy, right? We'll just start with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I think romance is the man's responsibility. I think keeping your household clean, I did that since the beginning. You knew that I was a health food guy and a vitamin guy and a and a supplement and, you know, protein shakes and all that kind of stuff. And so the house was clean, right? We had clean food, we had good food, we had natural, organic.
Like our house from the beginning.
Yeah,
when we first.
no milk, so no dairy. We had butter, no dairy, no pork, no beef, you know, bison, chicken, fish, you know, that kind of stuff. And I was a martial artist, personal physical trainer. So it was like we were working out. And when you have put on a little bit, I like it. And I'm like, hey, you know, I got a little more to grab. You went through a phase where you were super skinny, which is fine because you were trying to get yourself to a point of what you liked. You know, you were like, how do I lose a few sizes, you know, and you trained the way that I told you to, and you lost 2 sizes in 2 months, something like that. And it was just through training, and you were eating more, you were eating better food. So it started in our relationship from the beginning that taking care of yourself is, you know, it's the only thing you got is your body. And so I would accentuate if my woman was putting on weight by telling her, you know, by like, hey, you know, you got a few little inches there and I like it, you know, and then what's the woman going to think?
I find that actually, okay, so I'll tell you what I think, honestly.
That's what I'm wondering.
Okay.
That's
I am probably about the size or close to the size when we first got together at this moment. So I had a little bit more on.
But you have musculature now. You have more of the frame to support it. Yeah.
And I'm so coordinated, like I know how to move it.
You're much more coordinated. Yeah.
It's an inside joke. And so I assumed, you know, I was pretty comfortable with myself at that point. It really helped that I had just gotten back from Brazil where, you know, my body shape was desired in that part of the world. And I had already gone through self-image and eating disorder issues earlier in my life. And so I was kind of more like you know, I'm going to do it if it's healthy, you know, but I'm not going to do what's not healthy and just to please someone else. But yeah, anyways, so I'm actually surprised that, I mean, I assume what you're saying, like the couple extra inches or the little padding is where I'm at now. Yeah. We actually haven't talked about this in detail.
Yeah, I'd say. Nice.
So you like,
but it's up to you.
But knowing my body, like a couple years ago, so over COVID and stuff, I had a lot of work, was just like hammering away at the computer and really have had to recover my own body and health, not just the physicality. Well, the physicality is a big part of it. And so before that, I don't know what my body fat percentage was, but I was definitely leaner. And so I didn't, you know, I had a healthy layer of fat, but like in my genes, I would look probably more fit, you know, a feminine fit, than now I probably look like, because, you know, you see yourself differently, right? Just a softer feminine, but I don't think I look as fit.
No, if we're talking honestly, it doesn't look like you're working out 3-4 times a week. You know, you're not doing super intense activities, or, you know, maybe it looks like you're
going to yoga and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And going for walks.
And you're not starving yourself.
Right.
Which is good. You don't want to starve yourself. Actually, to lose weight, you want to eat certain foods and
well,
more
I
of them.
Noticed in the last couple months, just realized that I wasn't getting enough protein. And once I started eating enough protein and doing sauna, like my body aches went away. Like, and it was muscular aches. It wasn't joint aches.
And that's great. Yeah.
So you're saying you do like this kind of softer feel to Tara?
Well,
or how would you compare it to
a fuller frame is like attractive. There's hot, and then there's attractive. And guys like to look at hot, and they like to be with attractive. You know, and sorry, hot women, but it's true, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Most guys don't, they want a trophy for a wife, but they can't have a trophy for a wife because our society, the way it's set up, a lot of those trophy wives are looking for the next winner, so to speak. Trying not to use all the terms of the modern red pill boys online.
So I still don't understand. So what is hot and what is attractive, in case someone needs it spelled out? And attractive, it is going to vary per man.
There's averages though.
Okay.
You know, somebody that's fit, somebody that looks like she runs track, you know, somebody that, but doesn't have a bigger upper body, you know, fit shoulders like you have, you know, upper body is fine. But if it gets too big, it starts to, you know, it starts to encroach on, you know, for me, it starts to encroach on my thoughts. Like, that sounds weird, but it's kind of like a woman entering man space. You know, we're not going to war, right? And so if we were, yeah, I'd want you to be as strong and capable as you could be. But, you know, these women that, there's a lot of women that train nowadays. I think there's a shift in the masculine, feminine. There's so many feminine men that women are becoming more masculine. I think it's a natural system in nature. And so
You still haven't answered, you know, what's the hot and what's attractive difference? You said the runner, you know, but not shoulders. Is that?
Yeah, a woman that's fit, but, you know, and a lot of guys might say, you know, yeah, you know, breast implants, or, you know, because the fitter a woman gets, the less fat she has on her body, the less she's going to have larger breasts, and she can have a muscular butt, but, you know, big.
It's not going to be have
glutes
kind of
and-
a softness, a feminine softness. It's going to be hard, muscular.
Well, it's not going to be super hard. I mean, muscle is not hard when you don't flex it. You know, it's, you know, soft. No, it's hard. So that's not a scary thing if you're just muscular. If you're working for a, you know, what do they call them, a flex competition or a bodybuilding competition, you know, then you're going to start working for having hard muscles, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I think an average woman is very attractive. I think a hot woman is just someone who's on the Hawaiian Tropic team. You know, you're just like, yeah, that's hot. Yeah, that's what you want to look at. But when you see a woman that is 2 sizes bigger, that's still hot. You know, if she's in a bikini and she's, you know, and she takes care of herself and she's doing stuff, that's still hot. It's not that it's not. There's just a little extra, you know.
You know what I found really interesting is, so at the gym, I don't wear yoga pants. I mean, they can be yoga pants, but they're not the tight leggings that everybody wears. But they are cinched at the waist. They're high waisted, and then they're straight leg, and so it doesn't like hug my body. And I bent over to tie my shoe on the treadmill, and you know the treadmill's already awkward, you know, and your shoelace comes untied, and you're like, oh, I gotta get out.
7 rows of treadmills behind you.
Yeah, but then you have to step a foot to either side, right? And so I didn't address it like I normally would if I was on the street, for example. You know, it's already a different circumstance. So I just bent over at the waist, and you're like, hey, you know, I got some guys right behind you. And I'm like, I'm not, my excuse was, I'm not in anything provocative. You're like, you have no idea. And so maybe explain to women, because that still shocks me sometimes, you know.
The more conservative a woman dresses, you know, not talking about a burqa, the more conservative she dresses, like what you're wearing right now, the more beautiful she looks, and the more intriguing it is to a guy, the more attractive she is, in my opinion. And that's the opinion of lots of other men that I know. You know, it's not hanging it out, wearing booty shorts and crop tops and tube tops, whatever you want to call them. That's not attractive. It's fun to look at, but it's not attractive. You know,
Hot category, not
it's fun to
attractive.
look at because you're hoping something will fall out as they walk by, but it's not. I mean, people say hot, you know, they'll use those words, but it's just more slutty, you know, it's just more. And if she's advertising the goods, guys will want it for, and maybe this is the super. So yeah, if you're let me say it this way, going back to the original question of Dr. John Deloney, shout out.
Mhm.
If you if your wife is gaining weight and you don't help do anything about it, telling her to go to the gym isn't going to do it. You go for a walk, you go for a bike ride, you take her out somewhere. Like, you know, we went to Duluth one time, and you remember that stairway that goes, that's really tall.
Is it Duluth?
Oh, not
Oh.
Duluth, sorry. On the
Red Wing?
river.
Red Wing?
No, in between
Which-
Minnesota and Wisconsin, up here on the river, up here.
Stillwater?
Stillwater,
Okay.
yeah. And there's that insane staircase that goes to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
You know, go walk that a few times with your wife. If she's going to be like, oh wow, that was really hard, I'm tired, that, you know, and don't force it. You know, it's not like, come on, you know, you're going running. But if you haven't tried to do anything with her, and if you haven't told her she's beautiful, and if you haven't said I love you, and if you're not, you know, if you're not rocking your marriage, you know, then it's your responsibility that she's overweight.
I think what happens too in life is that life just gets busy, you know, and so that's probably weighing on her as well. But like, there's just so much going on, especially if you have kids, you're both working, or even if she's at home with the kids, there's still a lot to address. And I think in another episode, Dr. John Deloney was talking to a wife whose husband was being super critical, and it sounded like, you know, maybe a bit too much. And I think he handled it well also in saying, well, you know, and there's nothing wrong with putting the kids in a double wide stroller, and I don't know if they're called double wides, and, you know, taking the kids out for a walk, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
And because it is ultimately about your health, and that's only you can do something about that.
Yep. Well, you can certainly help your wife. Say, hey, if you want to go for a walk with your friend, I'll take care of the kids for 2 hours or whatever it is. If you want to, you know, whatever it is, if she wants to go to the club. I mean, you know, if a guy says, well, you know, you get to go to the club and I got to stay here and take care of the kid, you know, well, you're shooting yourself in the foot, you know, and you really do need to tell her she's beautiful, because you're still married to her. So it means you love her, and it means you care about her. And I think, you know, we got together and you became more and more and more beautiful the entire time. You know, you're prettier now than you were 24 years ago. And generally it's the opposite. And I attribute that to a lot of things, and partially my attentiveness.
Yeah, I don't know if you're telling the truth or not, but I believe you. So, you know, thought can create
She
reality.
don't know she's beautiful.
So there's that.
Yeah. So should we watch another one?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to
Let's.
share, don't we?
Yep. Go on a hunt.
My wife's body isn't what it used to be, and I want to talk to somebody about it.
Okay. So tell me what's going on. How long you been married?
So we've been married 10 years. We were an athletic couple, dating in our early marriage, and just adding kids and jobs, that's just taken the back seat. I know my wife's confidence has taken a toll. I just want to help if I can, and hear your thoughts on it.
How have you tried to help already?
Early on, we tried a workout program together. I wasn't telling her certainly to go lose weight. We took a team effort, and I feel like I held up my end of the bargain, and I felt like she dropped the ball and just wasn't motivated enough.
Oh,
That's a
man.
good short, you guys. Good job. Makes me want to listen to how did Dr. John handle this one.
Yeah,
Let's
geez.
talk to this Dr. John.
Well, I'm not officially a doctor, but
Yes. I can chime in though. A good year ago, I knew that I just had to get back on the train for myself. But my body ached, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to fit this in, but I'm like, I've got to do it. And then I would set a, goal. I'd be like 3 days a week, I'm going to do this. And then it would happen once a week, and then twice a week, and then this and that. And then, I kind of beat myself up just enough to, like kick it into gear. But I was also like, keep going, like you're creating a new pattern, a new habit. You've never had to work so many hours in a day out. I'm still inside the home, but I've had so much on my plate, and this is still really important. And it took me a good year. I decided to join a gym, which I drive 40 miles to go to. And there's sometimes I still have to convince myself still, like, I'm taking extra time to drive 40 minutes one way.
Yep.
And how many times a week? But unfortunately, you're really supportive
and
of
who
this.
supports you?
Yeah. And because for me, it's even just that car time,
Yeah.
whether it's listening to music, listening to a podcast in silence. For me, I've had to get outside the home to work out. We have like a complete gym minus a treadmill is the only thing here. And to get outside the home and has really, really helped me. And so I would say to this guy, just keep up the support. It's not necessarily that she's dropped the ball. Maybe it's that she's, so bogged down by what's going on with the kids and work and family life that it just takes more time to develop that habit.
Well, here's what I would say.
Okay.
If she was still willing to go, no matter the results, he should keep going. Because he said it. He said life, family, kids, job, all that stuff. And what has to happen is you have to make time for it. It might be at 6 o'clock at night after you have a quick dinner. Hey, everybody, we're having fruit for dinner. Everybody we're, and it might be Saturday morning at 5 a.m., before the kids get up and before everything starts happening. But if she was willing to do it, that's like number one. I mean, it's like, keep going, dude. Keep rocking it. Keep compliment her. You don't have to wait till she loses weight. Compliment her on her form when she's working out. Compliment her on, man, it looks like you're really getting stronger. Keep a person going. Help them keep going.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just not in my psyche to judge you based on what I want you to like be. Yeah. I mean, I will suggest, I will talk to you, I will discuss, I will think of different ways to do it, and I'll say, hey, do you want to go mountain biking? You might not, but I'll say, we'll go slow. We'll go on the red gravel road instead of the single track in the woods, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I guess. Yeah. And then afterwards you're like, oh, that was so great.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's really been amazing about you is that I've never felt that I was not accomplishing enough. And fortunately, it's probably really helpful in our dynamic that I already want to get to that next level somehow. And I did, speaking earlier of the someday trip to South America, similarly, it was similar about mountain biking. And like, it was you didn't even really paint a picture. You just kind of like, hey, let's go for a bike ride. Hey, let's go on this
Hey,
gravel
I
road.
bought you a bike.
Yeah. Hey, let's go on. This is a neat trail. Let's try this one. And then bit by bit, I'm doing harder and harder stuff. And then I got to feel also the reward.
And
of
I
getting-
slowly introduced you to gear. I didn't put knee pads, elbow pads, and a helmet and a spine brace on you right away.
Yeah.
I slowly introduced you. And then when you said I'd feel more comfortable with knee pads and elbow pads on this trail, hey, how about a full face helmet? I got you a full face helmet. And you felt more comfortable. And I felt more comfortable with you with a full face helmet because I don't want to damage this pretty little face. I mean, if I got a big scar, I'd be like, yeah, I'm an alpha dude.
Right. Finally.
Finally. Oh,
And even
so
recently,
tough trying to be an alpha.
you know, I think this relates well to some of the calls to John Deloney is, you know, she might actually be making progress, but I realized in the last year, I had so much catching up to do. Like, I mean, I love working out, thankfully, that's something I do really enjoy, but I had a lot of, like, my foot hurt and I had to just walk at first. I mean, I had to start at zero.
Yeah, there's a lot of, when you start working out, people remember what they did in high school, they remember what they did in college, and then they hurt themselves when they start working out. So it's not always the best place to start. I would always start with walking. And then I would start with some sort of activity on uneven ground, you know, maybe hiking, that kind of thing. Biking is good as long as you're not getting crazy, because planting your face into the tar or the gravel is a really terrible thing.
Yeah.
But going to the club can be just as hard. The noise you're hearing in the background is not a truck pulling up to your house. It's our cat on her running wheel.
Yeah. Cute.
So little Joya is going for an exercise.
Speaking of exercise.
She's like, I'm feeling like maybe she's growing really fast right now. So she feels like she's putting on a little weight.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my synopsis. You know, you should be there to support. You should be there to help. You should be there to not push, because pushing can cause injury. Even working out in the club, even going on a treadmill, you can injure yourself. There she goes.
Wow. She's really going.
Yeah, she's like, there's no way I'm gonna injure myself. Yeah, you can injure yourself even on a treadmill if you overdo it the first time or first couple times out. So
Yeah, ease into it. And, you know, the last couple of years too, I have not been as gung-ho about going mountain biking. And, you know, you would encourage me, I could tell you were bummed. And then, but I'm like, my neck hurts. Like I can barely even turn it. You know, I don't want to get injured even more, you know. So I have made a goal for myself, though I feel like I'm on track for this year to be, I mean, I feel so much better. Don't know if you noticed.
Good.
And I feel like I'll be much more prepared this year.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, should we wrap it up there?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you want more? I figured a couple of reactions was good.
Yeah. Sounds good. Can be good enough for today.
All right, not sponsored by anybody yet.
Make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, please. And remember, complaints and business opportunities, definitely go to John. The kudos send my way. Jon and Tara podcast, and John Bachland or Tara Bachland on social media as well. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye-bye.